certainly got some cool stuff sitting around here. That's pretty cool. He's got a 12V engine over here. I forgot what he said it was though. It's not a Detroit. It unfortunately got burned. But it's mechanical, so I think it's probably gonna be fun. Lots of heavy equipment. I like that truck up there, the Ford. Tell me that's not a thing of beauty. That's a hearse. I forgot what year he said it was. I think a different company would build the hearse part, not Packard, so. I think he's gonna get it moved inside. He just built that shop. That shop's been done for like a week, I think he said. So projects like this will be able to get moved inside where they won't just sit outside and rot anymore, but it's not too far gone. It's obviously gonna need some work, but that's gotta be pretty rare. He's got all that heavy equipment here too. Bulldozer, excavator, backhoe, grader. It's a playground. A little bit of problem with that tire there. Because this is a lot. Like he did this shop with these 24-foot overhangs. I hadn't really considered doing them that large, but now that I see them, I really like it. I think that's something I'm going to consider. I think I was just going to do like 12-foot, but this is much better. You can get so much stuff under here. But, you know, I want to get some old Detroit diesel powered equipment. So if I can get a bulldozer or a backhoe or something, you know, this kind of stuff, something with a two-stroke Detroit in it, that would really be my dream. Me and Tyler could work on them, bring them back to life, get them working. That would be fun. And of course, we want a Detroit 12V71 powered truck with a Landau, more of a low boy, somewhere we can haul buses around. Never really thought about having a grader, but sure would be fun. So he's got like twice as much property here as what we have. But yeah, being at these last couple shops, seeing what they're doing, he did a couple of really neat things here. He did the in-floor heating. The building itself, I think he said, is 100 by 60. I think is what he said. Plus, it's got the lean-tos on both sides. That one they did enclose over there. I don't need this big of a building though. So we're going to get into this today. I know some people commented online about, oh, the rainwater came in from the top, from the intake. But actually, this is the intake right here. And there's a pipe that goes up in there. It goes towards the top of that. So rainwater really couldn't come in through that. But the exhaust side, I mean, I guess if it was always pointed towards the prevailing wind, and it's not exactly a straight shot down, like there should be a little snoot on it or something to help protect it that's not there. I think somebody modified the exhaust on it. I don't think that was factory Bluebird right there, but you can see where the water's been coming out of there. But clearly not all of it. And as you go up in there, it's just a straight shot. And it looks like it's just a resonator, maybe, not even a muffler. So there's no baffles or anything, but there's no angle, there's no hole, there's no drain, there's no flapper. You know, somebody said, well, the kids put a hose in it. There ain't no way the kids got up there and put a hose down that. There's no way. Plus, his kids are pretty dang well behaved. They might be everywhere when you look around because there's so many of them, but I haven't seen them mess with anything they shouldn't be. The turbo is completely seized. That won't budge at all. It's toast, which means, I mean, the water went all the way up through the turbo, through the blower, into the air box down there. And then, you know, that water level was, well, you can see it was all the way to the top. That is a lot of water. Yeah, you can even see the, you know, the water line in the air filter housing. It was all the way to the top, more than all the way to the top. This thing was really full of water. I didn't show this yesterday, but the crankcase is not full of water. It has oil in it, and it's, you know, still below the full mark. I don't see any hint of water. There might be some water at the very bottom, but it didn't, you know, it didn't drive it all the way up. So the water just stayed in the air box. I don't know how the air box drains work on these D-decks. You know, regular Detroit has an air box drain with the check valve, but the check valve's open when it's not running. They close after it gets to like 700 or 900 RPM. So technically any water that did go all the way down through in the air box should have drained out of the drains. But I haven't got under there to look to see, do these D-decks even have drains? They obviously don't go back to the pan. If they went back to the pan, then the pan would have water in it. Or if they do, then they're just plugged up. So we'll get under there today. Got to figure out how all these fancy bumpers come off and everything, and how this engine comes out of there. Is it on a rail? It slides out. Man, this does not look like it's going to be fun. Perfectly good running bus. They took it on a trip 2 years ago. They moved it before the hurricane, I forgot the hurricane's name, but whatever it was, the one came through Houston. And then he moved it after the hurricane. So all that water and everything has accumulated, since Harvey. So it's been moved since then. So it wasn't a hurricane that caused it, and maybe it's just the way that it was sitting, or I don't have an answer for you. All I can tell you is that it's pretty much so ruined. Somebody on my forum today suggested maybe filling everything back up with oil, filling the whole intake system with oil and letting it sit. And then if you run like a pump and a filter system through it, maybe you could start getting some of that rust out of there, and maybe it would free it back up after it sat long enough. It's actually maybe a possibility. If you had the time and the patience to do it, I think it might work and get it turned over again, and maybe the rings would reseat. But there's so much rust in that along the side of the pistons now and all that. I don't know. course it rained last night, so now this is all muddy nastiness too. So he decided to hold off for now and make a decision later with what he wants to do. He's going to see if he can get the engine freed up. I don't think it's out of the realm of possibility, but I think it's a slim chance, but it doesn't really cost you much to try to do that. Otherwise, you're going to take some time to try and find the right motor to put in it. I don't know how long before I get on paved road, but it'll be nice. At least this is sand here. I think that's a little better than that muddy stuff I just went through. I can't imagine what my bus looks like. Everywhere I go, it rains. I think it's telling me to turn there. There's no way I'm turning there.
There's nowhere to turn there.
GPS clearly shows a road right there.
That's not a road.
Oh my gosh, look at that pothole. This is the life, man.
No, it's not. Never again.
Rodney, if you want me to come back and work on your bus again, you're going to have to get your road paved.
In 1/2 mile, turn left.
At least Lenny's got the balls to climb these hills, but I'm afraid for traction and everything else. This is mud. Lenny's going to look like shit. Although county maintenance, let's see if this is a better county. It looks like it is. It's dirt road, but it looks a little better.
Smoother.
Wow. Well, my bus is broke down on the side of the road here. I am super lucky because my shutdown flapper emergency does not have a solenoid. I was just driving and the throttle stuck. I was like, holy hell. And I don't know how, but then it died all on its own. It wasn't screaming like run away, run away. And I just pulled the valve cover and that injector is stuck. And luckily it wouldn't start because the rack is stuck in the off position right now. Not in the full fuel position. I'm gonna try to get it unstuck here, but I don't trust it at all. Wow. Never seen that happen. Those are new injectors too. I thought maybe my fuel filter was plugged because it was all the way up to the top, so I just changed the fuel filter and it still didn't want to start. I said, no, it's gotta be something with the fuel, and the rack didn't feel right. So I came back here to check that. That's insane. Everything's hot, so this isn't any fun. I got the injector to pop back up, but it's moving real sluggishly and jerky, so something's going on with it. I got some N65s with me, so I can probably pull it out and put a 65 in there to get us down the road. I've never seen one stick running like that, especially something new. That's a whole new experience. When that's out, my rack moves normal. I can go full and back. So it's so hot I couldn't really hold it here. afraid to use it, but I'm gonna try to free it up. Get some lubricant on it. Let's go around that. Nothing came up. Oh, and it's stuck down. Sprayed. This is a new old stock C65 that I have in my case here. Get some liquid down in it. See anything spray?
That time it a little bit did. Just a little bit.
Sorry. There it goes. Feels good. The other one's not doing that. I gotta push it hard. It feels chunky as it gets towards the end. It's real gritty. So this is going in. Okay, we'll see if this starts here. Should start now. Okay. That's a relief. Being able to move that is nice. Climbing a big hill here. zebras! More zebras. We saw zebras earlier today. Okay, this might be bigger than Rob's place.
A little bit.
Was he just waving me to go by him?
I think so. I don't know. Or straight ahead, maybe. There's a sign.
There's a big spot over here on the right.
I'm assuming you're gonna go in to the left over here. Is that a kangaroo?
Yes, that is a kangaroo.
That is awesome.
I think if I park right here. Hello. Say hi.
Probably think we're bringing salad to them. All the old salad.
Oh, sorry, I don't have any food, buddy. Do you know how old this one is?
He's probably about 120.
Oh my gosh.
Just size. My
Figured.
son has one that's 30, and he's about that big.
And what caliber is that minigun?
It's 5.5,
Wow.
6,000 rounds in a minute. You can see some of the links, and
Oh yeah.
it always ends up dropping links around here. Our little Scorpion back there, British light tank. That's a live gun. That's a 75 live gun there on that one. It has a little Jaguar 600 gasoline engine in it. And then my current project, which is a Cold War M41 Walker Bulldog. We bought it, and a lot of maintenance had been deferred on it, and so the engine and transmission are sitting back there. I've gone through all the electrical system. I'm putting all the little bits and pieces that have been missing, Pioneer tools, new instruments, getting all the lights to work, and that's a live barrel too. Once we get the breech ring, this will be able to fire also.
Wow. How many caliber is that?
76.
Oh.
Here's a cartridge.
What is this motor?
This is a Continental.
It looks like an aircraft engine.
Well, it's a
Yeah.
boxer.
Yeah.
It's a flat opposed, but it's a 895 cubic inch.
Giant, yeah.
And then the GM cross drive transmission. So we got our. We have 5 leopards. This is the only 1A4 we have. This is one of the first leopards that we had. It's a West German, or this is the first tank they built after World War II that we let them build. They wanted their own tanks. We had been giving them our tanks, but they wanted their own industry tank. So this is the first one we built. T-34-85 there. World War II Russian plane. We like to think of ourselves as a hands-on museum where we can pick up, touch, drive, operate type of thing.
You guys have an amazing collection.
This is the only live-firing Pac 38 in the world right now. Really amazing gun.
I mean, there was. Do you know how many of these were made and that kind of stuff? Or?
Yeah, the guns really aren't my.
Yeah.
I'm sure there was over 20,000.
This is amazing.
It's not really a motorcycle, but it's not really a full track vehicle either. I understand the design actually pre-war was an agricultural tractor.
Huh.
And they adapted it to pull trailers, and they even towed airplanes with it. It's not something you want to get shot at. You're sitting right between the fuel tanks. No armor protection. This is a early World War II 75mm cannon of the Japanese Army.
Huh.
When they first decided to arm themselves, they go buy guns from different countries, and they improve on it from there. So this is basically the end of a horse-drawn thing, but still has the wooden spoke wheels. Machine gun area there.
So your grandfather in World War II was a machine gunner, whatever, and one of the pictures of him is with a water-cooled machine gun.
That would be this. Well, it could either be a 30 or a 50. Both 30 and a 50 would be more. These were normally on ships because they had so much water and a good place to bolt them down to. And this, of course, this is what Dory Miller. They just named an aircraft
I was gonna
carrier
say he was
after him.
just in the news. They
Yeah.
were talking about that.
This is the type of gun that he used to shoot down those Japanese.
This is the coolest machine gun collection I've ever seen over here.
Yes, they are. Every one of them is fully functional.
I've used a few of these on video games.
You hear the names, but you really don't know what they look like until you actually like an MP40, you know. It's where's the MP40? It's a small gun. MP5 Uzi. Anyway, but
Oh, there's a video of you guys firing the tank up there. Oh, it blew his hat off.
yeah, yeah, yeah. Really, because of that muscle brake, you know, standing to one side of it, you actually, that's our bad neighbor gun there. That's 120 millimeter Russian B-20. That's one of the 185 Leopards we used to drive.
Oh my gosh. What is this thing?
This is a working model of a 30 caliber. But when they were teaching them in school, they just increased the size of it,
Got
and
it.
cut it away so the instructor actually could point to things and actually see how things work. So this is a 30 caliber machine.
Okay, just sized up for.
Yeah, it's about 3 times the size. So this is our M4A2, which means that it has the Detroit diesels in it.
Ah.
The Army never fielded them because they didn't want dual fuel. They wanted just everything that ran on gasoline. Marines got them because the Navy already had diesel, and we gave a lot of them to our allies because we didn't really care.
So this has twin 671s.
Yeah, left hand, right hand, paired together. Two clutches. Let me see if I can find a picture that used to be right here. It's got pictures of it.
Got some wheel grips on there. They got a major award up there.
So there's 2 clutches, and then there's the section that brings them all together. This one, the exhaust manifold's on this side, and the blower's on this side. This one, the exhaust manifold is here, and the blower's on the outside. So all the fresh air is on the outside, exhausts are on the inside. And the starters are staggered. One of them's here, one of them's over there, one's here, and one's over there. I don't remember now which. There's 2 long plates that come off underneath the belly so we can get to the bottom of the engine. And then we have the hatches that we can open up and work through up there. I don't know what your schedule is to your next vehicle.
I've got a little bit of time. How deep are you wanting to go into it?
I'd like to do oil change.
Okay.
It has dry air filters. It doesn't have the well baths anymore. Look it over. I've got I think some of the block panels are leaking.
Okay.
If you got those gaskets, I'd like to change those. It's those dimple panels about that big that has a bolt in the middle of it.
Okay, that's the airbox inspection covers?
Right. Change the starters. I've got 2 starters.
Okay. Are they just getting weak or?
One of them is making a lot of noise.
Okay.
And I really liked when I pushed the button, I really wanted to start. Now, the good thing is I can always start the other engine from a starter from the other side. If one starter goes out, I can still start it through clutching and all that other kind of stuff.
That's neat.
But still, I'd like to go ahead and get those.
How temperamental are they with that transmission drive? What links them together? Is that real finicky?
That's funny. I had Stuart Stevenson in here. this engine would stall whenever we let the clutch out. It would stall. Just so, okay, well, we got a governor problem or a rack problem. So I got Steer Steven in there. We changed the governor. In fact, we put 2 different governors on it, brand new governors. Reset the racks, did everything, still did it. For some reason, I had gotten in the manual, and I just happened to go through the clutch section, and something caught my eye, and it said, if one engine dies, the clutch is out of adjustment. Within 10 minutes, I had found the adjustment, and I made the adjustment on the left engine. The right engine was fine. The left engine was giving out quicker. It's been fine ever since.
Wow. Because Greyhound used to run twin inline 471s with a similar coupling device on them, and they had problems with synchronization and other issues with them. And that's when the 8V71 was developed, and then they replaced those with the 8V71.
Other than that, running it out of fuel, no big problems.
Yeah.
Fortunately, the fuel tank, there's 2 fuel tanks, although we only use this one on the side, is about, when you fill it all the way up, it's about that much higher than the fuel control. So we found out that all you have to do is fill the fuel tank full of fuel, come over here and
crack something open,
crack the fuel filter where the line goes down from the fuel filter, crack it to
Self-prime.
get it out. And then I think Bubba went and opened something at the bottom of the fuel pump going to the rack. Just opened it and watched for air to quit coming out. Closed it up, cranked it.
Yeah, that's good.
At least one engine did. The other one we didn't bleed, but we just hooked it up to that engine and spun it fast enough it just started right up too.
Yeah, and get the fuel pump to push it through.
Yeah.
It's not really good. I just noticed your ceiling fan. That's
I
awesome.
noticed that first thing.
It's our big ass fan.
Is that is a big ass fan? That's one of the
big ass fan.
Yeah.
It's running backwards for winter time, but we run it the other way for summertime.
I've seen ads for them, but I guess I didn't realize they were that big. That many blades on them.
That's the big one.
Yeah, this is amazing. Oh my gosh. So people can come here, pay a fee, and they get to go out and drive in different model of tanks.
Yes.
And then you also have an option for live firing in tanks too.
Yes. Here's the caveat though. You just don't get to drive anywhere. We have a track, and you drive on the track. You make the track lap one time, and you're done. Okay. So, and they say, well, how long does it take? I said, well, it depends on how fast you drive.
Kind of a obstacle course type track, or
Yeah,
is
it goes out there. It goes down this big deep, and that's been the problem with this tank is that big deep. But anyway, and then it goes into the creek. You drive through the dry limestone creek. Well, it's not dry, but unless it's really high, we don't. But and then you come back up, climb a hill, and get on the road, and then you drive back over to the gun range. And if you're going to fire, then you just stop there and we fire. And then you come back into here. We have another hill to climb over there. So, yeah, it's well, where else in the world are you going to be able to do this?
That's cool. I bet it's exciting too to see somebody who's a vet who used to do this get back in one and do something. Have you had that opportunity?
We've had those. We had that opportunity. We actually had that's called a patent lounge up there, and that's where you could go up and hang out and drink and whatever. But we had Patton's grandson come, and he drove the tank, and he sit up there and
Wow.
enjoyed it. No, we've had a lot of people out here.
This is neat. What does this weigh? About 80,000 pounds or something?
Oh no, this only weighs 30 tons.
So that's 60,000 pounds, roughly.
Huh?
60,000
Yeah.
pounds? Yeah.
You know, people always wondered why we didn't build bigger tanks for World War II. Well, the answer was the Liberty ships that we were building, one a day, the cranes were only good for 30 tons.
Ah,
So, and they didn't want to put parts, they didn't want to send it over, you know, the turret off of it. In case one ship with the bodies sank and then you had all these turrets, or you didn't have any turrets. So anyway, we just built the 30-ton tank, and
what's the cannon size on it?
it's a 76 also.
Yeah. And is that a 50 cal up there on top?
It's a 50 up there, and then we have a 30 in the
I saw that
mantling,
up there.
and then we have one in the bow that's a 30.
Crew of
5,
5?
2 in the lower hull and 3 in the turret. We haven't found any bullet ricochets or holes or anything in this one. We suspect this one was a trainer. That was the other thing we used them for, is we used them in the States as trainers. Army didn't mind having a diesel tank here in the States. They just didn't want to field one in the field of battle. So they were also used as trainers in California and everywhere else. My daughter lives in Madison.
How many vehicles do you have here?
Last count about 15. Tank up front.
Yeah.
Yeah. It just arrived the weekend, broken,
Oh,
and I'm still trying to work out with the Polish engineer how to get it going. It's stuck in second gear, but the clutch is also stuck on too.
M114? So tomorrow we get to work on the Sherman tank. Is that exciting or what? With the General Motors 6046, I believe is what it is. That's the Detroit diesel, basically twin 671s. Just it's gonna be super fun to work on that. And we're changing starters, fixing the oil leaks, doing an oil change, that kind of stuff. So just having it apart and seeing how everything's set up in there and laid out and being able to work on it. Then when we're done, we get to take it for a drive. Drivetanks.com. That's what they do here. So you could come here and drive your own tank around. They do live fire, all kinds of stuff like that. So we'll give you a lot more information as we go, but this is really fun job and opportunity to be able to work on the tank. I'm very excited about that.